Clar TV News Channel 5. These are the top stories. The former Minister of Labour, Tiawan Konglo, has reiterated his opposition to the manner in which the Liberian flag is being treated at public buildings. A local group known as Volunteers in Action to Serve Humanity over the weekend distributed several assorted materials to the Victory Chapel's men's rehabilitation home. The just concluded marathon created some excitement and some ill feelings among Liberians. Clar TV will be finding out why. District number 9 Representative Muna Youngbo Pedam has briefed her constituents over activities at the House of Representatives. Marketers at the Battlefield Market in Waterside have blamed President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf for their current predicament. And in foreign developments, American warships are heading to Syria as the battle rages between the government forces and rebels trying to overthrow the government of Bashar Assad. These are the top stories. The former Minister of Labour, Tiawan Konglo, has frowned on the government, especially the manner in which the flag is being treated among public buildings. Konglo, also a human rights activist, said the flag is on the executive mansion is faded and does not represent the seat of the Liberian government. Speaking in observance of the 166th Flag Day celebration, right activist Konglo said government officials are not respecting the flag in a holistic manner as should be done. The former minister spoke to Clar TV News about his frustration over what he called the abuse of the Liberian flag.
Disappointed that the executive mansion does not care. Let me say here as a lawyer that Minister McLean and those who occupy the executive mansion are not so free to disrespect our flag. What they're doing is in violation of the Patriotic Observance Act of the executive law. It requires that our flag must be treated with respect. It should not be burned. It should not be destroyed. It should not be defaced. It is being defaced under the management authority of Mr. Martin and those who occupy the executive mansion. And I'm surprised that the President's security corps have not taken note of this. The flag is what flies. Is what should fly on top of every public building. It is what symbolizes Liberia even before the seal. And all of those officers, whether in the police or in the EPS or in the army, carry the flag on their shoulders, on their arms. So why should it be treated? How will our young people respect the flag when the one that is on top of the mansion is so fake? It is really disgraceful. And I challenge you to go around the next 2 days before Flag Day and to just videotape the flags that are flying on top of the public buildings. You'll find some that are new, but you'll find some that are very disgraceful in terms of how they look.
Do you think that your flag donated to the executive mansion has not been posted because you are critic of this government?
That would be disappointing and right as a citizen to guide my government, not to keep silent about things that are wrong. So if the reaction to my flag donation is let's not host it and let's not hoist it because it's coming from the Council of Government, then that's really, really disappointing. I don't think the executive mansion has any acceptable excuse now for being like that. The President and the Minister of State Minister of Finance cannot really give a convincing excuse why the executive mansion has not been rehabilitated. And it's terrible. Yet the young children born today who are going to school, who are learning about the branches of government, pass in taxes, walk on their feet and pass before the executive mansion every day, and they do not believe, and I think they will find it difficult to believe that this is the #1 building in the country, the place where the President sits. Whether the President is not sitting there now, it should not be treated the way it is treated now. And I think that even at the Foreign Ministry, the flag should be flying on top of that, on top of the Foreign Ministry, because that's where the President sits. I don't see any flag on top of that. I see a flag before it, but If the argument is that the foreign ministry is not the seat of the executive marshal and therefore the flag should not fly on top of the foreign ministry, then...
That was former Minister of Labour Tiamon Konglo commenting about the devastated state of the Liberian flag hosted on public buildings. A local group known as Volunteers in Action to Serve Humanity, or VOSH, over the weekend visited and distributed several assorted relief items to the Victory Chapel Men's Rehabilitation Home in Congo Town. The center caters to individuals that took part in series of activities which include rebellion, armed robbery, gangsterism, drug addiction, among several heinous crimes. Now they are currently being rehabilitated at Victory Men's Rehabilitation Home. In an interview with Clar TV News, the administrative director of the center, Paul B. Johnson, expressed gratitude to Volunteers in Action for identifying with their plight as they strive to redefine their life in the nation.
Amen. Amen. Sitting before you are Brother Paul B. Johnson, and assistant director for this entity, for this home. 3 years ago, I was a bad, nasty drug addict. I slept in the graveyard, Central Street, Ghetto Street. I robbed people, I stole from people. But it was a day, June 4th, 2009, a friend of mine, bien for the devil, told me that man, my house, the guy that played the God soon, where they transform drug addict. I said, oh, I said, man, I'm tired of my lifestyle, man. I really want to change. And June 4th, 2009, I came into this place. I completed my 1 year, and today I'm here working here as a staff.
Well, by way of introduction, I'm Brother Gabriel Cole, a man who are residing in Soul Clinic, Red Light Community. I'm a college dropout. I dropped out from Stella Valley Polytechnic in 2010. I enrolled there in 2006. I was doing architectural drafting. I started the whole drugs business in the year 2006 when I first enrolled in the college, got around bar friends. And when I started first, everything was like good because people around me never knew that I was in the habit. And as time goes by, I started stealing from people just to get my habit on, just to get my doping habit on. Then I started going in the street because people started to despise me because I was a rogue. I called myself kleptomania at that time because I steal for no reason. Just to go and smoke and say, oh yes, aha, get in the street, walk around dirty. Never knew to myself that I was dirty in the street. But I want to bless the Almighty God.
To the institution, I think you have seen this place. Now they say, your own eyes, you have seen this place. But I can't see the rain have disturbed your roof, and your crew will go in the rooms and see the things that we need and what have you, and the obstacles that we face in the home. And I want to tell you that God will give you strength.
That was Paul B. Johnson and some rehabilitated youth at the Victory Chapel's Men Rehabilitation speaking to Clar TV News. In response, the Executive Director of Volunteers in Action to Serve Humanity, H. Moses Carter, admonished youth to continue undergoing the rehabilitation exercise in order to become useful citizens that can contribute positively to society. He said the organization, which is a non-profit, uses the mass media to reach out to vulnerable citizens in the country. The WASH Executive Director said people discuss too much about politics and criticism and do not impact the lives of people in a positive and special way. He urged the youth to continue transforming their lives that will almost try to influence their way of life and contribute positively to the Liberian society.
The fact that there's much needs to be done. Is that not true? Yes. Much needs to be done. I always say to people, if we must make Liberia into a better country, then we must focus on people that are slipping off the line. Because if we only think about this concept of I, me, and myself, our country will be a terrible place for the very good people that are concentrating on themselves and forgetting about the other people. You are part of society. Society has a way of influencing people. Like I told you the last time when I came here for assessment, I told you, if you are not careful with the friends that you associate with, either they will make you or they will break you. Either they will influence you or you will influence them. Those are the two alternatives. I am very glad that you guys have decided to have a change in the direction of your life. There is a saying that says, wise man changes. Wise man changes. It's only fools that don't change, that become so complacent with the way their lives are going. And I am so happy for you guys. This is an initiative that must be done by all Liberians, especially so those that are in national leadership. The president often needs to create a program where she can identify with street people, how they can take people off the streets and make them into meaningful citizens, like you guys are now going through. The vice president office, the legislature, and some of the ministers and directors of some of the ministries and agencies. I want to say many thanks to Matilda Woki Parker. Matilda Parker, yesterday, while we were on the show, day before yesterday, she texted and she was able to contribute something that will enable us to get rice and some other stuff. Amen. We need more of Matilda Parkers in this country. I've heard a lot of praises about me, fine, but we need more good people, people that have a heart of sharing. You know, I always say in sharing you don't have to have all, but it's about the heart. Once your heart is clear and you feel passionate about doing what you're doing, it's most important. There are a lot of challenges in our country. People feel neglected. People feel that life is finished, and I like to say to all of you, life is not finished. Life is dependent on what you do for yourself to grow yourself out of your situation. Do not depend on your mothers. Do not depend on your fathers. Do not depend on society. Society may let you down, but if you are determined to move forward, you will move forward. Make a decision now that as you get to that society, to the larger society, your life will shine, that others will see you and want to emulate your very good example. And you will need to get out of here and be ambassadors for those that are still in the streets. We need to go after them. I've heard people say that's their life, that's how they want to be, but I think it is wrong. That's not their life. Either they were influenced by people, and it's easy that you can get talking to them and get them off that situation. We need not stop talking. Philanthropic organizations need to come to the help of this home. This is just an opener. We are, I don't know whether we are the first, the second, the third, or whatever we are. But I think this is an eye-opener for other institutions to come to the assistance of such a group. You guys are doing pretty well. And I think you need to clap for yourselves. In your midst, I can see some of you becoming, if you're not careful, just take it what I'm saying.
That was H. Moses Cardo, the Executive Director of Voice, distributing to us assorted materials to the Victory Chapel's Men's Rehabilitation Home in Congo Town. The recent marathon hosted by the Ministry of Youth and Sports created some excitement and some ill feelings among Liberians. However, the marathon coincided with a regular church service, which prevented several churchgoers from attending church service, while the free flow of cars was also halted until 10:30. At the First United Methodist Church on Ashmore Street, a worshipper, Garriston W. Bailey, frowned on the planners of the marathon in terms of planning as crazy and total nonsense. The angry worshippers, venting his anger at the First United Methodist Church, said he will mobilize Christians in the next marathon if it is held to disrupt church service.
You know, I'm an athlete myself. I visit the gym every day and exercise. I like to jog. I like to keep fit in my body. And I don't frown on people who do. I try to encourage everyone to go and exercise so that you keep healthy, so you keep fit. All right, I have nothing against the marathon. It's good for our country, it's good for our people, those that are athletes to participate. I have no objection. But the planners, I would think they didn't forecast better. Knowing that it was going to be on Sunday, they decided to get the police to block the road, which is wrong. Our country is small, especially the city. All right, it's so small that you can move from one point to the next, and you find things going right. Now they block the traffic where people have to come to service, and it's totally wrong. It is absolutely crazy.
So, even motorbike riders, they are not permitted.
I would think that was what they should have done. In other countries where marathon are held, they have special lanes, special routes for those athletes to pass on and the traffic flow. All right, for us, since we have this small place and we have so many traffic, what I would have thought that they should have done is to block or restrict the pimping riders, because they are the ones that cause the problem. I wouldn't be a driver in my vehicle and see marathon or see athletes running and then I run into them. I would never do that. I live right on UN Drive. I have to come to first service 8 o'clock. Drive from my route, got to Public Works Central Street. I got that the police asked me to pass. I passed and came all the way up to Justice Ministry, and then the police tell me I cannot come back, I should turn around on a one lane. I told them no. That was how I came down and I parked my vehicle. Unfortunately, look here, we have first service 8 o'clock. All right, it starts 8 o'clock and there's nobody. Our pastors cannot even come to service this morning. All right, our pastors cannot even come to service this morning, and it is totally disgusting. It is very debilitating. I'm not lying to you.
So the service is supposed to be on by now.
Service is supposed to be on now. The first service is from 8 to 9:30.
And the place is now empty.
The pastor is in here, the choir is in here. Nobody is here that's supposed to be here to get things going. All right? It is annoying. On a Sunday, the time we got to come and serve God, and you do what you did in the street there, those planners need to be reprimanded. I would think so, because they didn't plan properly. They didn't plan well, and then the government went and accepted. I would think Madam Ellen Johnson-Sirleaf needs to look at this. The Minister of Sports need to look at this. And all those who participated in the stuff to get it to where it is, they need to look at it, because it's total nonsense. It's unacceptable. And this shouldn't happen. I watched the last marathon last year. There wasn't any incident of anybody getting hurt. All right? So if they wanted to restrict certain things, restrict the paper riders.
So what would be your advice to the future marathon?
Yeah, they plan properly. If they don't plan properly, next year we will get in the street. If they will hold it on Sunday, the Christians will get in the street and reject it. I'm saying it, I'm going to take the lead on that. So they better plan properly. If they're going to do it next year on Sunday, they must make sure that they find particular routes for these people to pass. If not, if they're going to block the traffic like they have done this year, I'm going to go and protest against it. Hope that by 10:30, the traffic will be free, because our second service starts at 10:30. And I'm sure if by then it's okay, the pastors and others will be here, then probably we all can have join the second service instead of leaving from the first service.
Thank you.
That was an angry worshiper with Garrison W. Bailey speaking to Clar TV News about the marathon and the effect it had on the Sunday worship service. District number 9 Representative Mona Pelham Youngblood has briefed her constituent about activities at the House of Representatives in the decision taking in which she was a part. Representative Youngblood Pelham told her constituent that several issues were discussed, including the Code of Conduct Bill, which has been passed by members of the House. The District number 9 representative says she will thoroughly review the bill because there are several key issues that need to be discussed. The District number 9 lawmaker says she is expected to take a brief visit to Las Vegas for a fundraising for youth, for which she is going to be a part to serve as the youngest legislature in the Liberian history.
The Code of Conduct Bill has been passed by the Liberian Senate, and I learned that it is on its way to the legislature. I received a copy of it. On Friday. I am personally going through it, and so I thought to let you know that it's on my desk. I have to peruse it, to analyze and digest before I can be able to deliberate on this matter. Because there are key issues that are in it that I'm also in support of, where they talk about gifts, where giving gifts, people from institutions just come and local government officials and give you gifts. If anybody give you gifts, they will come for gift in return. So all of these things are things that we as public servants need to look at and be able to endorse them. But then again, it's a big document and you have to look at it, because sometimes a little thing that you're not expecting, they can squeeze it in the middle of it where you're already tired of reading. So I ask the people of District number 9 to please permit me the time to go through the Code of Conduct bill, and then we can call for another section where we can be able to go into it plentifully. Now, at the conclusion of my agriculture break, I will want to state here that August 31st, hopefully by August 31st, we'll be coming on our agriculture break. If my colleagues do not come up with a resolution that we stay additional 2 weeks, then we will adjourn session on the 31st. But if they ask that we stay additional 2 weeks, I have no choice as the People's Servant to continue to work for the next 2 weeks. But during the period of my agriculture break, I will take a brief trip. I will take a brief trip because I have been invited. I've been invited to Las Vegas for a fundraising program for Liberian children, serving as the youngest and outstanding legislator of Liberian history.
That was District Number 9 Representative Muna Youngblood Pelham speaking to her constituents about the development at the National Legislature. Marketers at the battlefield market have attributed their sufferings at the hands of criminals to President Ellen Johnson's decision to relocate them in the criminals' den. In an interview with Clar TV News, the marketers complained that criminals over the weekend stole their tables, which they constructed for over $3,500 Liberian dollars. According to the chairleader of the aggrieved marketers, Cecilia G. Wundua, criminals sometimes put them at knife point and rob them of their monies and goods. She said the situation is unbearable and want prompt action to prevent criminals from infiltrating them and stealing their properties.
Knowing our people, Wadasa have been market ground. If you come and say you want to develop Wadasa, you take us from there and carry us to another place. The place you took us, you told us, yes, we agree that you said we're going to be there for temporary, but you're going to give us a suitable place. You did not give us that place.
So the battlefield is not suitable?
Oh, she sent us to the criminals. She said they will kill us. Anything they want to do, all they want to do it. That's the meaning of that battlefield. Because from the day we got there, the criminals can come to us with knife. We respect her so much, we said our leader. Because before you prosper in any country or any land, you must respect your leader. Based on that, when she said, move, march while move, we spent more than $5 million to build tables to move it. Each one of them marketers, some pay $5,000, some pay $4,500, some of them pay up to $100 to build their table. Now it's very rough. When you're 4 person there, they're not market there. When you're 4 person in that market.
What would be the reason for all of this?
The reason is that because the president was not prepared and she decided to take us from where we are. That's the only reason. Anything you prepare to do, you do it to the good, to the best. So anytime somebody says this, you can say, oh no, that person was prepared to do this. But she just wanted to get off from there. And that battlefield, that market, government did not know that place was not for them. We, the sea marketers, showed to them that they play that government property. We told them. Because of development, we said, okay, we, the family of Majua, we will not be the one to stop development. So we agreed to move.
The chairleader of the battlefield market, Cecilia J. Wundua, explaining their ordeal to Clar TV News. She said the entire construction of their tables cost over US $5 million Liberian dollars. And in foreign news, American warships are currently heading to Syria as a battle rages in the country. The move comes against the backdrop of intensive fighting between government and rebel forces battling to overthrow the government of Bashar Assad. However, a UN nuclear inspector team is in Damascus to investigate reports that rival forces in the Syrian war are using chemical weapons against Syria.
The timing was curious. As President Barack Obama huddled with his national security team at the White House to hash out options regarding Syria, Damascus released a new video of what it says are chemical weapons. President Bashar al-Assad's forces say they found them in a tunnel used by rebel fighters. Reuters cannot independently verify these claims by the government who organized the trip. It shows 5 blue and green plastic drums, normally used to transport oil, lined against a wall in a room, as well as several rusty mortar bombs, grenades, and gas masks. Doctors Without Borders says hospitals in Damascus have seen over 3,600 people displaying neurotoxic symptoms over the past few days. Obama has so far been hesitant to intervene in Syria's 2.5-year civil war, but earlier said he sees the use of chemical weapons as a red line for involvement.
Says this is one of 2 areas where as many as 1,300 people were killed in chemical attacks last week. After intense international pressure, the Syrian regime has granted the UN access to the sites. Inspectors interviewed victims and doctors to determine if toxic weapons were indeed used here. Russian media published an interview with Syrian President Bashar al-Assad, who repeated claims that rebels, not government troops, are behind the attacks. But the U.S. and its allies say they have intelligence that leaves little doubt that the Assad regime used deadly gases in last week's attacks. Images like these have increased calls for action.
There will be a proportionate response, and we will act with determination. But in the coming days, we must stay calm and assess the situation.
But Assad's closest ally, Russia, is warning against armed intervention.
If anybody thinks that destroying the Syrian military's infrastructure in order to even the battlefield for the opposition will make things better, they're mistaken. Even if that were to happen, the civil war will continue.
5 days after the attacks, Western officials have expressed concern that much of the evidence might already be destroyed. In addition, the UN convoy was targeted by sniper fire on its way to the investigation site. No one was injured, but the incident underlines
the news. That's Clar TV News Channel 5. I'm T. Michael Johnny.